Sean Casey isn't renting cars anymore. No one will let him. He's on most companies' do not rent list. So instead, Sean decides to supersize, build his own ride, and gain some space, protection, and power. It's called the Tornado Intercept Vehicle, or TIV for short. To build it, he ripped apart the body of a Ford truck and is welding on 8,000 pounds of protective steel plating, accented with bulletproof glass. But there's one problem. Sean is the welder. Well, sort of.
My co-pilot might not be too happy that I've done a lot of the welds, but I'm feeling pretty good about them. They look good. I might not trust my life on this weld. We're gonna have to go back and fill that in.
Sean designed it himself with one thing in mind: getting the shot inside a tornado for his film. The TIV is essentially a bulletproof tripod on wheels. Sean started with the base underneath the TIV, a Ford 450 truck with a 400 horsepower diesel engine. The roll cage is constructed of 2-inch tubular steel, wrapped in over 3 tons of 1/4-inch steel plating. He put a top hatch in the front and the back for observation and escape. The heart of the TIV is the rotating turret on top, supporting the IMAX camera. Inside, there are 4 racing seats with 5-point safety harnesses. Up front is a GPS navigation system and real-time Doppler radar to keep an eye on storms. In the back is a critical scientific tool, the data logger. It is like the black box on an airplane, recording wind speed, air pressure, and temperature from the instruments mounted outside the TIV.
Tornado Intercept Vehicle, or TIV for short. This could be something. Sean built it 5 years ago, combining the frame and chassis of a Ford 450 pickup truck with a 400 horsepower engine. He added 8,000 pounds of steel plating.
I mean, there was so much welding, so I had to learn how to weld.
And bulletproof windows to protect him and his crew from flying debris.
I gave us attitude by cutting angry eyes.
There is a rotating turret on top to support the IMAX camera.
We need to be able to get around quickly, we need to have protection, and we need to be able to film at a moment's notice in any direction. So the design really, it was mandated by the function.
But the TIV alone can't guarantee Sean will achieve his dream.
It would be suicidal to build a vehicle like this and go off to the Midwest and try and drive into a tornado without radar.
To find and film fast-moving tornadoes, and to survive the adventure, Sean needs help. So he's on his way to Tornado Alley. Here he'll meet the one man who can aid him, a renowned weather expert with state-of-the-art radar technology.
Dr. Josh Werman is the super ego, and I'm the id. Josh, I have a present for you. Something to remember me by when TIV gets destroyed this year.
For the past 7 years, Josh and Sean have chased tornadoes together.
Tornadoes are some of the most stunning and fascinating, but also very dangerous things in nature. It's a pretty donut with this thing. I mean, this is beautiful. And they represent one of the unknowns in our scientific knowledge. What I'm trying to do is penetrate into that unknown with radar.
Josh was the first scientist to build a mobile weather station with a custom-built 8-foot Doppler radar dish. He calls it the Doppler on wheels.
I took on to try to get big radars, very ambitious instrumentation right next to the tornadoes, and study them. 9 feet exactly. Push the envelope of what we thought.
The men and their 2 vehicles should make the perfect tornado hunting team. Josh's Dow tracks the twisters, while Sean's TIV reaches the one area the Dow can't go. Close to the ground, where the worst damage is. That's the area Sean wants to film, and Josh wants to study.
In order to forecast how strong a tornado is going to be, how big it's going to be, forecast more precisely its track. We need to understand what's happening in that lowest 50 or 100 feet in the tornadoes.
To capture that information, Josh has equipped the TIV with sensing devices which sample wind speed, temperature, and air pressure.
It's a very symbiotic relationship. We drive into a tornado and sample those winds.
Tiv, can you go 100 meters north of the intersection?
And he, in turn, gives us guidance and tells us those winds are safe to drive into. So the relationship is awesome.
The only problem is, after 7 years of storm chasing, neither man has achieved his dream. That's why Josh added a new team member with a new task this year. Mara is a freelance writer who volunteered to join the crew.
Josh, how's it going?
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to our crazy spring.
I'm very excited.
She'll be driving a vehicle nicknamed the Scout and helping deploy a whole new tracking device called a probe.
What we've done differently this year is these probes. It's basically just a heavy steel disc with a bunch of instruments on it. What you're going to do is get those out of the car, drop them, and hopefully they get run over by the tornado. My tornado probes enable us to see what's happening in the ground, see what's happening where the radar can't see, and see what's happening where the TIV isn't.
It's 4 o'clock, and all of the team members have now arrived at the home base, and the chase season can now begin.
Ready? Great!
The Dow driver is Herb Stein, a 20-year chasing veteran. The Scout team consists of Mara and Justin. Driving the TIV is Sean's college buddy Ronan, and the navigator and cameraman is Byron. Tomorrow, chase season can finally begin. They're about to chase some of the deadliest storms on the planet.
Keep going. Push it, push it, push it.
It's the beginning of tornado season, and the team has gathered in Goodland, Kansas.
I think we can take it on Road 7.
Intercepting twisters is a deadly game, and this season Josh has raised the stakes by adding an extra vehicle.
Having the probes out this year makes the mission much more potentially dangerous if we lose track of vehicles. The key for me is I have to keep a mental image of where everybody is and where the tornado is coming towards them.
Before Josh and his team face off against the tornado, they develop a battle plan.
Okay, I guess if we're pretending the tornado is half a mile north, I'm going to deploy the probes here.
For each intercept, the Dow stops in a safe place and scans to determine the tornado's speed and direction. Then, with Josh's instructions, the TIV races ahead of the tornado, deploys, and waits for the tornado to hit. The Scout's mission is new. Using Josh's guidance, it gets in front of the tornado's path, drops 4 probes, and retreats to a safe distance. Now, Josh must test his plan.
Cargo, this is Dow 3. Are you ready? Okay, please start rolling.
For this practice, a white cargo van will act as the tornado. It will travel over the same ground and at the same speed that the eye of the twister would cover.
Tiv, would you please go
north, about a mile and a half from this location.
From the Dow, Josh directs the TIV and Scout into position.
Keep me updated. The update on each probe.
Okay, copy. Okay, lower everything. Go down, lower everything. Cameras up. Cameras rolling. TIV is all set.
Okay, thanks, Tiv. That was 4 minutes, 9 seconds. Scout, start deploying at the intersection, half a mile north.
Each probe weighs 120 pounds.
Oh, man, this is heavy.
And for Mara, the job is more difficult than she anticipated.
Down just a little bit, up, down.
Okay.
Scott has deployed probe 1, is continuing to deploy probe 2.
Okay, at about 4 minutes it took them to get to their first one.
4 minutes is too long for one probe. They must deploy all 4 probes in 6 minutes to avoid getting run over by the tornado.
Tiv, this is Dow 3. Prepare for the tornado.
Okay, the van just passed us, so we are in the tornado right now. Race for impact!
Tiv was out there really fast, but it seems like Scout is not having enough time to deploy its probes. We're going to see if we can get them out of there before the tornado hits.
Scout's in the car, we are heading back south to deploy the 4th probe.
Cargo's coming up on 15 now. So you may not have time to complete your mission.
There's the tornado. It's going to be close for comfort.
The tornado is just 9/10 of a mile from the Scout vehicle.
These are more vehicles than I had to coordinate, though. I'm losing track.
This is pretty chaotic. And just imagine if the tornado were actually real. I mean, this would be absolute hell.
Before the Scout vehicle can move, the tornado crosses the road, right in front of them. If this was a real tornado, Mara and Justin could be dead.